Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. I'm Kel.
And this is Misfit.
And we're here with a little preview of some of the stuff coming to the PTR right now. We're just going to discuss that and then kind of go into some of its viability as far as the Overwatch League goes. But don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe if you're new to the channel. We really appreciate anybody that's already done those things. And let's move on to what we want to talk about. So the biggest thing, obviously, is the Symmetra changes.
Yeah, I kind of like some of the stuff they did with her.
I do too.
They're definitely going to make her more viable. League-wide viability, like in the Overwatch League, I don't know. She'll be a good situational pick.
Yes.
I mean, we were screwing around with her before we started recording, and I was on Anubis. I was kind of just playing a show in Cal. You can actually chuck those turrets about all the way across the map.
Yeah, I mean, in the video that I saw, he was just on the training grounds and he shot them off and they went off into the mountains that are like all the way at the edge of the map is when it stopped. Yeah. So like they have infinite range until they hit a wall and then they attach and that's when they start doing damage. Yeah. So they don't do damage until they're attached to a wall. So that is key. They can also get shot after you shoot them. So you gotta be real slick with where you're putting them and how you're doing them, but they have substantially more health than they did when it was, because I think they had 5 health or something stupid that. Yeah, I think now they have like
a little bit. They
have like 50 to 100, something like that. Like you
get 3, but they have more health.
Yeah, they have more health and they do more damage, but there is only 3 of them.
And I like the way those play out better than when you were setting them up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I was showing you like those.
You can shoot them behind somebody who's behind a shield.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can go through a shield or not. I feel like they have to go
through. Yeah, they go through.
They go through a shield? Okay.
Yeah.
And I would imagine they probably go through characters as well.
Yeah.
Like they'll go through anything minus a wall, which is where they'll attach. Yeah. So like if there's like a big cluster of people and you just shoot it right through them, if they don't for some reason shoot it, then it'll just attach to like the ground or the wall behind them and then just be there on them. So that's pretty cool. I think it's a good kind of counterplay to some shield things.
Yeah, and you can do other things with them too. Like if you got those widow perches and stuff, you can chuck those things up there,
right?
And do some damage, and you could throw them at spawn doors to build up ult charge.
Right, like you hide them up there in a place where you know a widow's going to try to go, and then she just gets melted by three of those, or even better, you put a turret where she can't see it, and you come around and you're just like, hi.
Yep. Yeah, you can also put them on it because they'll attach high up on the buildings. Basically, they don't stop on a wall. For the Pharah, you can use them against Pharah. I mean, you're going to get some damage off of her, or a Pharah Mercy combo. There are ways to be sneaky with that. They're flying around up on those rooftops. You can attach them up there now.
Right.
So it kind of helps with that stuff. Now, the left click or the right click, that's the fucking money shot now, man.
Yeah, the right click, way better. It moves. I think it's like a 100% increase in movement speed. It travels significantly faster.
And it explodes.
It does a lot more damage, just standard. I think the charge damage is still about the same. Yeah. But now when it impacts a hero, it also explodes. So there's splash damage as well. So it's like it'll explode with 60 or it'll hit with 60 and then it'll explode for another 60.
So it's almost like a Junkrat grenade kind of thing.
And I think that's it. It's like full charge, but you can like right click a bunch of times and hit. So there's definitely some strategy there of how you can work around that. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously they changed the left click to her main weapon. So now it's kind of more like Zarya, like a mini Zarya beam thing.
Yeah. And it aims very similarly, but it still has the charge up thing. And I think it's going from like the base damage that it does is increased, and then the charge damage is crazy. Yeah, like when you get it up to like a full charge, it does so much damage, and and you can build up that charge on shields, and by shooting at shields, not only does it not take ammo, it replenishes your ammo, builds up the charge, and then like once you get rid of a shield, you can just start melting the other team. Yeah. So that's going to be huge, and I think that's where the pros are going to really try to take advantage of that aspect of her kit.
Yeah,
more
definitely.
than anything. Once they're able to play her, and that's one thing that we did want to discuss is when do you think any of this is going to even be available to the pros?
I think they'll probably save it for the World Cup.
Yeah, I think that's the earliest
I think we'll see it then. I don't think they're going to put something that drastic and new.
Yeah, definitely
in there,
not.
Especially with we didn't even go over the teleporter.
Yeah, and that's
scenario. That's another stupid thing.
Well, the teleporter and
awesome.
her ultimate. Her ultimate is crazy. 5,000 damage barrier, basically spans the entire map up and down. She can put it like vertically directly in front of her, or she can put it like perpendicular to where she is.
Yeah. It's kind of, you can kind of set it up like Maze Wall.
Yeah.
Think about it like that. Except for you can have it perpendicular, or it can do whatever. It moves kind of around like that.
It's very similar to how you would place Maze Wall, and then
except for it's 500 times the size of it.
Right.
But you can go through it.
You can walk through it, but I mean it's going to absorb a lot of damage, and it lasts I think it lasts like 7 or 8 seconds, something like that. So I mean, that can be really clutch in some certain situations. Especially against ults like D.Va, McCree, Soldier, those kind of ults that come out, where they're doing even a jump tire or a rip tire if you're good enough at that. I don't know how that, I'm sure that would go through it, but I mean, you can drive it through it, but like if the explosion happens on the opposite side of it,
if you clutch put it up, kind of like people do with Maze Wall,
right?
But that does not go.
I think it's
going to
be more like a soldier ulting or something like that is going to be huge.
I'm assuming it stops Earth Shatter as well.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because all the other shields.
Yeah, all the other shields do. So I would imagine Earth Shatter will stop. It'll stop that.
Barrage.
Yeah, probably one of the only ones it won't stop is like a
Graviton.
Graviton. Yeah. But if you put it up and they're on the other side of the Graviton, then they can't shoot you. So there's that.
Exactly, or like maybe it might not be able to stop Moira's ult.
I don't think it'll stop Moira's ult
because nothing that goes through everything. Yeah. Anyway,
exactly.
But the teleporter is interesting too because you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with that.
Mm-hmm.
You can run rip tires through it.
Right, you can run a rip tire through it. You can run a D.Va ult through it. There's a lot of different viability there.
Yeah.
And then she can use it a lot more often too.
Yeah, it's got like a 7-second cooldown, and I mean,
is giving heroes that normally have a hard time getting to high ground, putting them up there.
Orisa, Zen.
Exactly. An Orisa, a Zen, a Soldier,
Moira,
characters like that. When they have high ground, that's going to be huge.
Yeah. Even May. Because May, you got to do the boosty thing on your own with the wall.
Right.
But that's going to just help. Even getting into or out of sticky situations, like even say May, someone drops the blizzard.
Right.
You can just flip that thing in and everyone runs in and goes out because you hit F and you go through the teleporter. Because I did it, I got sleep darted.
Yeah. And while he was sleep dart, I
transported myself to safety.
Through. Yeah.
Like onto the high ground, which was where I was trying to go anyway.
Right.
But it's just a lot of stuff. I think you can also transport out of like gravitons. And maybe Junkrat traps too. So that's a lot of crazy fun and cool stuff that it actually makes her viable to an extent for the league.
Yeah, and definitely in
competitive
competitive and ladder matches in general, she is going to be very prevalent.
And she's not going to be as annoying as fuck with that hose attached to you.
Right.
Because she actually has to track now.
Right. Well, there's that, and then it's also just she'll be more viable on attack, less so... and still pretty viable on defense, so it's not going to be basically a troll pick anymore.
Yeah,
which is going to be really nice.
And you can do a lot of cool, especially I would say hybrid and escort maps like Eichenwald, kind of places where you would use her before, but on attack.
Yeah,
because you can throw the turrets, and then you have the right click. And you can spam pretty good through choke points and all that.
You can spam pretty well with that, and then if you can get up close enough and use your left
beam,
click, and just shred those shields, that's gonna be huge.
It's almost like it's kind of like a combination in a way of like Junkrat and Zarya, kind of
a little bit
with her basic attacks, and then you throw in the teleporting. thing and all that, and it's just crazy.
It's basically like a new hero, and then there's also teases of a possible new hero on top of all this, because a lot of things, because they're also changing Horizon, so that's the next thing we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. And we'll get into some of the other stuff that you might see, actually.
Yeah. I don't think the changes to Horizon are going to come to the Overwatch League. I think the soonest we'll see that is probably, again, the World Cup.
Yeah.
But, it's still cool changes and needed changes, and
because you guys play, and you know how annoying Point B is,
right?
Especially Point B on Horizon.
Yeah, and most of this stuff, it's hard to talk about, like, unless you actually see it.
Yeah. We'll do it. We got a little video coming up on here. I'll show you a little bit of the changes. We'll just do Point B, like a quick little run through, and I'll do a circle around.
Well, there's a couple of big changes.
Yeah, to Point A too.
Point A, there's going to be more shielding on the high ground in front of the point. There's going to be like some barriers and stuff that you can hide behind, and then they're also changing some of the entrances for flanking and stuff. And how you'll get to the point. So basically, they got rid of a few of them and basically made it like there's two viable ways to go to the point as an attacker. So like you have to go high up right or high up left.
Yeah, it's basically forcing you up.
You can run the ground area, but that's you're just asking to die.
Or you're playing quick play.
Right. But I do like that, and then it's a lot easier to get up to the high ground as a defender because there's now a stairway that leads.
It's on the right. On the right.
Yeah, if you're coming from the attack or from the defender spawn, as soon as you come through the hydroponics lab area, there's gonna be a giant staircase that goes right up to the high ground in front of Point A.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's been. It's a really nice change.
It kind of helps with attack too if you want to do something sneaky.
Right.
You can go down that staircase. You're kind of not, and you can also escape out too. That was the one thing about that. If you got trapped in there was like no up and out.
Yeah.
You kind of had to. All right, I can try and get through the one little room where I'm going to die, or try and go through the point where you're definitely going to die. So it's kind of good for both. Obviously, it's more for the defense on that.
Right.
Because you guys watch the league. Most teams crush Point A. Yeah. Except for in the last couple weeks for some reason. I don't know why.
And usually if they get held on Point A, it's because they don't have like a full amount of time.
Yeah.
And that's really it.
And Point B is just a nightmare.
Yeah. So the other large changes come in Point B. They added another high ground area, like the back part. If you're on defense, it's on the right side. That back part, they kind of made that a little bit bigger, and then they put a staircase over there, so it's not just like Hanzo or Widow that can get up there. Pretty much anybody can get up there. There's like a railing and all of that now. You can put
Torb turrets up there, or Junkrat can go up there.
Right.
And it also makes it easier to get up onto the scaffolding up on top because it's about I think it's a little bit higher than the normal one that's been there.
Yeah, I think it's slightly higher. If not, it's like right at the same level. Yeah. But it's a little bit closer to where like the super high scaffolding is.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite side, they narrowed the choke point a little bit going into from if you're attacking like that top right choke point, they narrowed that down a little bit so it's a little bit smaller. So you can't just be like, oh, we're just going to have our whole team just stand here and freaking shoot down and take everybody out.
Yeah. And
so that you basically have to go through the choke point if you want to do anything now. And then on the opposite side of where the stairs are on that side, there's like a little bit of shielding over there, like a barrier wall. So
if you're playing Widow or Hanzo or something, you got a little bit of cover.
Right.
Up there. And they also... Now, the one thing they did, the major change that they did, everyone who plays this, you know what the damn spawn point on defense is ridiculous.
Yeah. It was way too close.
Yeah. Way too easy.
Yeah, but then you could also, there was a point where you could just stand in there, be invincible, and do damage to people on the right outside the door. Go in there with
Widow and just stand in there, or Zen even, and just
So now they changed it to where the spawn room is the only spot where you heal. Then there's a little buffer hallway zone where you don't get healed, but you the attackers cannot go into it.
Yeah.
And then you'll come out.
Kind of like Point B on Hanamura.
Yeah.
Where they have that little hallway that you go down.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. I think it's slightly longer than that.
Yeah, too. It's a little bit longer.
It's a little bit bigger. Dying on Point B is going to have a way bigger effect now.
Yeah, and holding that point is going to be not as easy.
Yes.
Because they also added another wall back there. So that normal wall with the windows in it, there's another one behind that now. Which was where the initial door was, where the wall was, where the spawn room was before. Mm-hmm. So there's a small health pack back there now. So they didn't just get rid of everything and not have a health pack. So there's a small health pack back there. So if you're playing Widow or something like that back there, there is some place to go.
Right.
But you're not standing in spawn camping people. Fucking, right. Hey, look, you can't shoot me. Look at me.
Exactly. So
I got gold damage.
The changes to Horizon are going to be huge, and I like them a lot.
And they're going to make a difference in this league, but next year.
Yeah, it's not going to be until World Cup, and then with the league, not until Season 2. Because I can't imagine either the Symmetra changes or the Horizon changes are going to come. It's like, hey, let's just throw this stuff in the playoffs.
Yeah. Here you go, guys. Have fun. New York can figure it out.
Now, let's move on to some of the changes that possibly could end up in being put in going into the playoffs, and that's the Doomfist changes. So Doomfist's bonus movement speed is increasing from 150% to 200% when he's doing his ult.
Yeah. So when he does Meteor Strike, I know because I play Doomfist some, it just feels clunky and slow.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of can get out of the way. With a 50% increase like that, you can come in and just smash people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the whole thing.
That's the whole point, yeah.
It kind of was like almost like a worse zoning ult than like trying to use a Diva Bomb for zoning.
Right.
Well, not worse, but you really got no value out of it. You might hit somebody, but most likely you weren't going to hit anybody unless they were frozen or in a graviton.
Right.
Or something. See, now that's another thing. You could do the Space Jam combo with this a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's going to add a lot more viability to Doomfist, especially for these guys.
Yeah.
Because of also the other thing that they're doing, his shield gain is increasing from 30 to 35 for his abilities. So when he uses an ability on an enemy...
So when he uppercuts, rocket punch, or what's the Earth? His mini Earth Shatter thing there.
Each one of those is going to give him 35 shield instead of 30. So that's going to put him, or that's going to make it easier for him to get up to that max shielding. Which is going to make him a lot tougher to kill when he dives in.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a really interesting counterplay to kind of what's being played right now.
Right. Kind of to like with your Brigittas and heavy tank play, everybody clumped together.
And I mean that's something that was the whole purpose of him as a character, is to kind of be that counterplay to those.
Well, I think honestly, just the second on Doomfist, I think what happened was with Doomfist is that when they were creating the character, it was before they started running a lot of dive comp. So he was kind of going to be the buster of the massive tank thing.
Right.
And then these guys figured it out with the heroes that were already there. Right. It was kind of like, okay, we got Doomfist. You really didn't fit anywhere in this. Okay. Right. Have fun with him on ladder and piss everybody off.
So yeah, that's going to be a big change for him. And then there's a pretty minor, but could be somewhat impactful. And I don't feel like they wouldn't put this change in because it's so minor.
Yeah.
And that's the time it will take for Orisa to get her ult is increased by 15%.
Yeah.
So she'll get her
ult 50%
a lot faster.
And that's a viable change. And she needed that.
Absolutely.
Because
it took just a little bit too long for an ult that is not nearly as impactful as some other alts. It can still have some impact.
Yeah.
But you can be a little more aggressive with it because you're not you're not just saving it for like, oh, I need this for this one team fight or whatever. You can just be like, screw it, we're going to win this team fight right now.
Bang.
Putting this down. Let's do this.
Yeah, and it's always been viable on King of the Hill and control maps for, just zoning that whole area off.
Right.
But now with it 15% faster, you could use it, especially like on maps like Oasis and things like that, where you got to push in and hold it, like on City Center.
Yeah.
She's great. Like, you just get in one of those, you get in an area where you're kind of protected, and then you just drop that thing down when you're getting up there after, and you can hold the whole point for a long time, and you get it faster. So I just like it a lot because I've been playing a lot of Orisa, and that's the only thing I have a problem with is the damn ult it takes too long.
Yeah. So then the last change is pretty minor, but could be impactful, and that's Brigitte will no longer take damage. Like the splash damage will no longer hit her. Like if a Junkrat, mine, or
it's kind of a buggy
grenade
thing.
Hits her shield, it will no longer damage her as well as damaging the shield. With the splash damage was kind of like creeping around the shield and doing damage. So that's a minor little buff for her. More of a bug than anything. And then also when she is trapped in a Junkrat trap or a Graviton, she can no longer use her shield bash at all. It never got her out of it, but she, like, if someone was close enough, she could shield bash them and it would stop them. So like that ability is completely disabled when she's in either of those.
Yeah. So I mean, those are just good bug fixes that needed to be done. They are kind of nerfed. They kind of nerfed Moira a little bit too.
Yeah.
So her spray her normal healing spray can't go through barriers now, which that's a big thing when you're running that meatball thing, like we always talk about, because we like that comp. Now, when you're facing off Orion, if someone's behind that shield, it doesn't work.
Right.
I mean, there's bugs on it that they're kind of working out on PTR where it won't go around the shield. Kind of, it just kind of, if it
comes in contact, like completely away from the shield.
Yeah.
I can't have like half of it going on through it right now. It's a little wonky, but I feel like that's something that they'll.
It's more like the opposite of the Junkrat thing that we were talking about.
Right.
It doesn't go around.
Right.
When it kind of should.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it for all the changes and stuff.
So I think most of those minor changes at the end, I think those will end up in the playoffs. Definitely like some of the minor changes that we've had, like with the Ana change, I feel like the Hanzo change, that kind of stuff is going to end up in the playoffs. Yeah,
from the previous patch that they didn't put in. I think that's what's going to get in. Some of the stuff might not get in. I know that I would almost guarantee you're not going to see Symmetra or Horizon.
Yeah. Symmetra is just, it's such a massive change. I mean, if anything of the big ones, I think Horizon is a little more likely.
Yeah.
Just because...
It more changes strategy for them than it changes... like a whole hero change. This would be like adding a new hero in at this point.
Right. With Symmetra for sure, yeah.
Even more so than Hanzo.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it completely changes everything of how you play that character and everything. And like, it changes so many other things that, like, it's basically like a brand new hero coming in.
Yeah, you guys better start learning how to track.
Right.
You Symmetra mains out there. I just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, no.
They're annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
Not all of you Symmetra. Just Symmetra's annoying. I can't stand her. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one, guys. You guys have a good rest of your day. Don't forget to hit a like, hit a subscribe. Thanks for all your support, all of the likes, all the times you guys watch our videos, talk to us online, in the comment section, on Twitter and elsewhere. Just keep that up. Stay tuned for some of the other stuff we got going on. We're going to have all of our picks and all that stuff going on. We still got the High Noon Pick'em rolling. So if you want to get in and see if you can beat us in the last 2 weeks, come on in and join us. Other than that, guys, just have a good rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the matches and stuff that are on right now, and we'll talk to you later.
Catch you guys on the next one. Later.